the Back Porch Boys. Right now, week 0. You thought we left. We're back. All the ways back. Football is back. Me and the FPI killer, Jake, are here. Week 0, week 1, and currently Florida State stinks.
They're so bad. DJU, where's he going next?
Someone has suggested that he belongs in the CFL. That person will remain anonymous, but I don't even think that he's worried about he's not
No.
worthy of the Canadian League. Like that is disrespectful as someone who lives in America that is connected to Canada. That is disrespectful for us to give them DJU to play quarterback because I watched Kyle McCord last year, and if I was FSU, I would have rather had Kyle McCord transfer to FSU than DJU at this point.
I had to suffer through watching TJ Finley start 6 games at Auburn, and DJU is worse, and I don't know how. It shouldn't be possible. The only place he should go next and transfer next is riding the pine. He is so bad. It's not even funny.
I think the perfect spot for DJU is just go back to Clemson and be like Dabo's clipboard guy or like Sean McVay's get back guy. Maybe he should do that for Dabo.
He could. Dabo's a pretty exciting guy. I don't know if he'll even be able to hold on to him. It's just FSU stinks right now, man. It's so bad. People were picking them, and I won't say any names, but people were picking them to win the ACC, and how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, this fall off in the first, it's the end of week 1, and we're like 17 minutes away from FSU having 2 losses before week 1 is over. That is just it's mind-boggling. It's hilarious, and I think Kirk Herbstreit is just at home, just like fist pumping to this right now.
Yeah, he absolutely is. But Scott, we're talking about DJU a lot. What other he's a transfer. Any other transfers stand out for you this year?
Oh man, the one you actually just brought it up. And I looked up the stats because I recognized the name. TJ Finley was playing for Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, this guy's played Alabama before. Like maybe he's seen something. Like maybe he can get a couple drives. Like keep it close, and it was just he's an absolute disaster.
He's so bad. His dad pretty much told him he had to leave Auburn because he wasn't getting playing time, and his dad made a big stink about it at Auburn. And he's just not good. I mean, he's not. It's bad. But speaking of Auburn, honestly, dude, we're talking about transfers. The Penn State wide receiver Keandre Lambert-Smith, also known as KLS, dude, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns, and I know the competition was awful. Auburn was playing Alabama A&M, boat raced them 73-3. But dude, that guy looked sharp. You can look at a game when they're playing a bad team, which is what a lot of these games were, and you can see it. You can watch a team play a bad team, and their routes are crisp. They're catching everything that's thrown at them, and that was kind of how KLS was. And so I'm pretty excited about that transfer as an Auburn fan, seeing KLS just continue to hopefully shine as the weeks go through. I think he may end up drawing a lot of teams' number 1 corners, so we'll see. But that's just going to open things up for the freshmen, Cam Coleman and the other freshman Perry Thompson as we go forward. But any other transfers? I know we had talked a little bit in our group chat about the tight end from Stanford going to Georgia that kind of shined a little bit, kind of channeled his inner Brock Bowers. I can't think of the guy's name.
Yeah, I forget his name too. He's pretty sweet. They also have like a Lad McConkey clone, so I don't know if that's what Kirby Smart was going for, but as long as they stay out of the driver's seat, I think Georgia will be fine. With the transfers, it's I think a lot of people like expected it, but didn't really know how much it would affect it. But the defenses are going to be way ahead of the offenses with all the transfers, just because offense is so hard to like replicate in practice, and defense can gel sooner. We see that in the NFL all the time with new coaches and stuff. But it's definitely nice and exciting to see like Auburn's offense blow up, because that there's going to be that little transition period with them. But when you go out and put up 77 points, you're like, okay, like maybe we won't have to, see that long of a transition with all these transfers. And the portal is just we need to bring back the ESPN segment. And I don't know if they did it on game day a lot. I didn't get a chance to watch all of game day. This week I was working in the morning. I was able to catch the last like 2 hours of it. But the same face, new place is absolutely needed with the portal, and it's like it's like gonna need to be like an hour long like show, like what they do with the
maybe
college
two.
football. It might be two, or maybe they can spring it out over a week and just do one conference, like focus on the incoming players per conference. Like maybe that's something
It's
that we should do.
wild. Like I can't even. I get like I'm asking you questions about transfers because there's so many. It's like who is where and why. And I mean, Oregon looked terrible with their transfer with Dylan Gabriel. I didn't even get to really watch the game, but like they barely beat a horrible team. And then you had Dylan Raiola going to Nebraska. It's just like everything is all over the place. And then you have, of course, Dabo Swinney. We talked about Georgia a little bit, but Clemson was, Clemson doesn't believe in transfers, and then Georgia, put it on them. So like,
They look.
Is Dabo gonna dabble in the portal ever?
If he wants to keep a job, I think he's going to have to get himself into the portal this year because it's not great.
No.
It doesn't look good. I mean, they obviously, like I said, the offenses were going to be behind a step for everyone, and the Clemson they just look behind like 6 steps, especially. I mean, they got what is it, Garrett Riley, second year system.
Mm-hmm.
Cade Klubnik, it's like you got to be able to put together something better than what they put on against Georgia. And like I get it, Georgia's the best team in the nation, if not the second best. But you put up 3 points and you didn't look like you could get a first down. They look like FSU playing Boston College right now. This is just terrible offense. Just everyone looks out of sync. No one looks like that they're playing hard. It's just terrible what they put on film. And the ACC, I mean, I make the argument looking at this game right now that it was wide ass open after 1 week. But after week 0 and week 1, I don't know if FSU looks to be totally out of it with they're a couple minutes away from their second loss of the year. They could come back and win this game, but if the trend continues, they're going to be 0-2. Clemson's 0-1, and Miami just routed FSU in the swamp, and they didn't even sneeze. Cam Ward, probably the best transfer. It looked like this week. He looked good. He looked smooth. He did not flinch in the swamp, which is a hard place to play, but it's even harder to play when you're in September because it's like 115 degrees on that field. It's just
we're both here in Florida, and we understand that to the core. But Cam Ward, I mean, he was a very hot commodity. Auburn kind of peeked at him, and he was wanting a couple $1 million, and that's just not something you're going to get as a guy going to Auburn necessarily. But if Miami was rolling out the Brinks trucks for all the transfers, including Cam Ward, so they're just like, come on down, bring it down. We'll back up the Brinks truck for you, and there we are. Look, it paid off for him. I mean, we know that Florida's not great, and they're going through a big transition time and period, and going to probably be without a head coach maybe before the season's over if you can't right the ship. But Cam Ward looked good. I mean, they put it on Florida. And speaking of other transfers, Back Porch Nate joining us right now. Back Porch Nate, what'd you think about Cam Ward this weekend?
Can you hear me? Everybody good? Check. Mic check. All right, cool.
Oh, you're good.
Cool, man. Back at it. Guys, sorry for being late. Cam Ward looked like Uncle Rico playing middle schoolers.
He was toying with them. He was.
Like when he took off for like that 30-yard run in the second quarter and looked back, like, is somebody behind me? Like, and then like just lazily just walked out of bounds. Like, I'll just walk out of bounds because I want to. Like, that was at that point, I was like, ooh, it's
Miami's back.
Miami's got a quarterback. And Florida's in a world of trouble. Because the voodoo magic in the swamp normally gives those guys extra like 10x when they play. there, the players.
Yeah.
It was very interesting to see what the heck's going on. There's something going on in the culture in
Yeah.
Florida.
Well, other
Yeah.
transfers, one that we have to talk about because he's at the smartest school in the SEC, and that's Diego Pavia coming into Vandy and just doing Johnny Manziel like things, just like he did at New Mexico State last year
That
against
dude is-
Auburn. He is a
I could-
magician, and it
Yeah.
is insane.
You would
I mean,
know
not saying
firsthand.
Vandy's going to win 10 games or even 5 games,
No,
but they
but I
put
can
it on.
see. I
Virginia
can
Tech.
see them getting. I can see them beating 4.5.
Yeah, they might.
Yeah.
They might hit that over that 4.5. I mean,
Yeah.
little
So if you're
Johnny
hearing
Manziel,
this, hearing this, and it's still at 4.5, smash that.
yeah,
After watching South Carolina look like a high school team against Old Dominion, they could definitely beat them at home. Vandy's got 3 pretty easy non-conference schedule guys, so I could definitely see Vandy if the way they played against Virginia Tech at home and get their 17 fans excited. That they could with their new I mean Vandy boys, not baseball. Vandy baseball boys are done. Vandy boys, football boys are here. So
yeah. I mean, if the Vandy Whistler from the baseball games would show up to the football games, it could change everything.
oh yeah, the noise, like the EA Sports Pulse, like if the Whistler's there,
Yeah, that would increase their pulse.
that would
stadium by
increase the
4%
pulse
at
at
least.
least 4%. That dude is something else. Oh my god! But yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic week 1. Learned a lot about some schools like Vanderbilt, schools like the late window, TCU, Stanford. Like you were thinking, like, oh, Stanford's gonna get their butt kicked, but it was actually a really close game. I mean, Hawaii took UCLA down to a field goal. Like that was supposed to be a UCLA much better program playing in the Hawaii high school field, and they took them down to the wire. I mean, it was good. It was a fun week. I was excited. The teams that you expected to destroy people did with their new offenses implementing, aka like Auburn and who else?
Yeah, just name a team. They
Oklahoma.
probably did it.
Yeah, Tennessee, Auburn, Ohio State, Michigan looked realistic.
Horrible.
Looked realistic. Like you lost your whole team to the NFL.
Oregon
you have a new
looked
head
mortal.
coach. Oregon looked horrible against Idaho.
That's
Yeah.
like home of the potato. Like
If they would have played that in Idaho at the little dome they had, I don't know.
Yeah.
Might have.
too many French fries before the game for Darren.
Dude, seriously. I mean, it was eye opening. Everybody knows this. All coach speech. The most improvement you're going to have in the whole year is from week 1 to week 2. So don't be surprised. This week, when you're looking at your bets and your parlay, it's like, oh, I'm going to take against Oregon or I'm going to take against Michigan, like Texas and Michigan. That game, I think Texas is a 7-point favorite now.
Yeah, but you could have got it at 2.5 during their middle of the Michigan.
Yeah.
Like we had like someone I was hanging out with. It had put 300 on it on Texas. He's got Texas minus 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan, it's home. It's a prime game.
But they're starting a walk-on. How is that not a bigger story? Like,
It should be.
How did Michigan keep that secret? Like everyone's talking, oh, Alex Orji, like he's like Joe Milton, but he's better. Like he can hit a slam. Clearly, he's not. He basically is Joe Milton. Like he can't throw a ball, and they brought him in. They had him line up and throw some balls, and he was throwing like flat routes to guys' feet, like 5-yard passes realistically, but like a 20-yard pass on the field, and he just can't hit. They can't hit a guy in the chest. It's like they're horrible.
Yeah. If I were to just give advice to the Michigan faithful and their coaching staff, I'd just say just run wishbone double tight. Just do that all year.
That or bring back Connor Stallions.
Clearly he's electric.
Clearly.
I mean,
that guy's got a better plan than anyone.
I mean, he wrote it down. He had his memoirs or his
Yeah,
I mean,
that
he.
that was the most impressive thing ever. How he
Oh my God, BC just scored again.
Yeah, it's ugly. We did talk about that at the start. Like number one,
Update.
yeah, I am
Update. 28-13.
I am updating the Florida State overreaction to a normal reaction.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we did
First
our
of all,
overreaction.
kudos
of
to
week
Bill
0, week 1.
O'Brien. Didn't know Bill O'Brien was the head
Yeah,
coach.
yeah, that's another transfer shock, Jake, that we were going through.
Huge.
Yeah, we were going through when you
Bill
hopped on. We were
O'Brien.
going through transfers, and it's like there's so many. Like it's so
There's so
hard.
much
to
going
keep
on,
up.
This is former Ohio State offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien. He
And
was never an offensive coordinator during a game, but he spent like 3 weeks in the building, and then he's like, "Yeah, this ain't for me. I'm gonna go beat the shit out of FSU in week 1 at Boston College. Like, see
Yeah,
you
that's
later, Ryan
right.
Day."
Well, didn't Bill O'Brien? Didn't he coach Penn State?
Yeah, he was at
Yeah.
Penn State before he
rode
went
the ship
to Houston.
when
Yeah.
during the crap. Yeah, I mean, he knows what he's doing in college.
And then they made him a GM and a head coach in the NFL for some reason.
Yeah, that never works out.
No.
Yeah, but good for him. Former Ohio State. We like to claim our former guys. Yeah, our former
people.
Guys. Yeah,
claim your guys.
And Bill O'Brien might be claimed by Ohio State.
All right. What is y'all's biggest takeaway if you could just pick one from week 1? Surprise or disappointment? Just your first, your one that just laid on your head the whole weekend.
Not a surprise, but I think that Travis Hunter is the best player in college football.
Ain't he? He's a freak.
Just like
he's a freak.
Built in a lab. Like there's a reason why Dion like makes him his number 2 son over Shiloh as his number 2 son. And it's because he's that good at football. I think he sees himself in Travis Hunter.
He probably does. I mean, not just like to mention the catch that he made, but like he had a great game without that catch already. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's definitely, to me, he's going to be an all-pro wide receiver in the making. Mm-hmm. He's not a corner. He can be, but he's going to have to pick and choose, and he's going to get money as a wide receiver.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I'm sure he wants to play both ways in the pros, but as soon as he gets into that combine room, the GMs are going to sit him down like, listen, son, if you want to play both ways, you can play out your 5-year rookie contract and then sit your ass in a retirement home. But if you want to make money in this league and get to that second contract and get paid, you are going to play wide receiver. So strap up your helmet and take a break when we're on defense. Okay.
Well, just think how good he could be if he just trained only
focused
as a wide receiver.
One,
right? Like the way his body control is in the air, he's like a cat. Like he you know what I mean? Like a gymnast, how they move their body, they know their center. Like the dude, like ever since watching him at Jacksonville State and just going up for balls, like way over people's heads and coming down with them and like being like parallel to the ground. It's weird. Like it's just, I mean, he's a freak athlete. So like, I'm looking forward to seeing more of their games. Obviously this year they'll be on all the every Fox game is going to be Colorado, which is cool. I like watching them on the standpoint of offensively, they're really good. Defense, they suck. Like this week against Nebraska, if we haven't even got into this week 2 highlights or anything coming up, but that's going to be a fun game. Nebraska's searching for revenge, but do they have enough defense to stop?
Here's the thing, and we haven't gotten into the week 2 preview, but me and Jake are all over Nebraska. Like we're like Dylan Raiola and
it's a Raiola party here in the back porch from 2 of us. I don't know if you want to join in on this party, Nate, but it is a Raiola party.
I like Dylan Raiola. I watched their spring game. I watched Matt Rule.
He's Patrick Mahomes.
Develop him. The kid's got the slots. He's got different arm angles. He's got he kind of runs like Mahomes.
He's kind of got the little chin patch.
Have we heard him talk
That'd be
yet? Does he talk like Kermit the Frog?
No, but I think
does
he's
he put
trying
ketchup on
to.
steak?
Is he allowed
Definitely,
to talk?
he definitely puts ketchup on his steak. 100%.
Oh, then I'm done.
It's
No
either-
more Rayola party.
Yeah, hey, give me Colorado.
Give me Colorado. He puts ketchup in his steak.
Nah, I don't think he
I'm
does.
done.
I just like that he went to Nebraska to be him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
To make
over everywhere.
Because
over
he could-
Ohio
It was a
State,
family
over-
thing,
Well,
right?
he was going to Georgia,
Yeah,
and then he flipped early on, and I think he just bought into what Matt Rule was feeding him. And it's like, dude, you come here and you lay the foundation of be that legacy quarterback. You'll never ever have to buy a drink in Lincoln, Nebraska ever again.
I don't know if you saw it, but when Rayola was going to Nebraska, like right as he was flipping, there was someone on the Georgia message boards who was looking for someone who worked for Southwest Airlines because that was the only flight that was going out of like where Rayola lived. To get to Nebraska. It's like, oh, he's taking the 7:57 p.m. flight. He's like, if you can't find a reason to mechanically keep the plane
Delay
on the
the plane.
ground, at least try to find his bag and make sure it gets lost. Who
So we
wants
get
to
Kirby
take a
Smart
tour
there?
of Nebraska in Nebraska in the middle of the winter? He won't be flipping if he doesn't have his jacket in his suitcase. It was just
Oh,
incredible work by the Georgia message boards guys. But hey, I mean, I hope that they're happy with Carson back. He might be the ugliest quarterback in college football, but he can sling it.
He's got a face a mother would love.
Yeah, he's got
Only a mother.
Only a mother could love. I mean, but he could, or a Chandler or one of the Cavender girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got radio face, is what I like to say.
But he's got an all pro arm. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So
hey, so let's get into. I mean, we're all on Nebraska.
well, let's hear Jake's. We're talking about Jake's. Your reaction.
Oh, my reaction. So my reaction is going to be that Ohio State freshman wide receiver Jeremiah Smith, right? Yeah,
good.
He's going to be number 1 in 3 years, and Cam Coleman's going to be number 2, and that's my complete reaction of this weekend. Those are the number 1 and number 2 wide receivers taking 3 years from now in the NFL draft.
Will they get picked 1, 2?
No,
Sure.
they won't.
Will they make it that
They'll
long
be top.
3 years?
One of them will be top 10, and the other one will probably be top 15. But
they're both true freshmen, so they have to stay
freshmen.
3 years. They're both true freshmen. They're 18 years old. I'm pretty sure Jeremiah Smith, when he got on campus at Ohio State, couldn't buy a lottery ticket. You'd have to fact check that on me, but there's a chance that. But he is 18, but he's a grown ass man.
Yeah. Those are your top 2, and they could potentially interchange because they're different types of wide receivers. So depending on what a team needs, it could flip. But those
are
two
good
guys,
reactions.
And honestly, Ryan. I mean, as much as we hate him, Ryan Williams for Bama looked really good too as a freshman. I mean, I'm talking this true freshman here, true freshman
17.
wide receiver.
He looked good.
Yeah,
he actually can't buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah, Perry Thompson was another freshman for Auburn. Malcolm Simmons Auburn's got a ton of freshmen, but the coolest story from this weekend, I think it was about Malcolm Simmons, is that DeMarcus Riddick, he's a linebacker for Auburn, both freshmen. Him and I think it's Malcolm Simmons. It could be one of the other freshman wide receivers. They had a dunk contest back in high school, and it got down to the last two. It was DeMarcus and Malcolm. And Malcolm said, "Hey, hold the ball." He went and ran and jumped over the dude and dunked it. And DeMarcus Riddick, a huge linebacker, is like, "Yeah, contest over." And so DeMarcus Riddick's dad was like, he should have been a 5-star athlete, but he was only a 4-star coming out. So obviously Auburn's loaded with a bunch of freshman wide receivers because that was the Freeze 4 that they advertised so much. But honestly, like I said, Cam Coleman, Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, those 3 true freshman wide receivers look to be the real deal. And me and Scott talked about it a little bit. It doesn't matter who you play. When you can run crisp routes and catch anything thrown at you, it doesn't really matter who you're playing. You're smooth, you're polished. That's what you're looking for in a cupcake game.
Yeah, I mean, someone had to throw the balls to those guys, and those quarterbacks look really good. I know there's question marks around Will Howard at Ohio State, right? He looked good.
Yeah, he looked good.
He looked good.
Yeah, he's gonna run a lot more than people think, and that's what Chip Kelly wants to do.
Well, he ran a lot at Kansas State too.
Yeah,
He's a ball player. So He's going to go there.
Well,
He's going to grind and get those yards he needs.
yeah. Chip
I mean,
wants to get him comfortable.
Peyton Thorne, year 2 in a new offense. I mean, looking better and better. I mean, all the quarterbacks that were in these systems look good. There's a couple that did not look good. Looking at one of them right now, Ugalele, whatever his name is, terrible. The Georgia Tech Haynes Keen looked good again. I mean, there's some good talent out there this year, and it's going to be really, really hard, especially as this year continues to, pick Heisman, because there's a lot of guys that at least hit top 10 in my head that can potentially be, Heisman candidates, including running backs. Like the running back from Boise State had 6 touchdowns against Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
The kid's good. I mean, I know Georgia Southern, but 6 touchdowns is a lot.
Yeah. Just forced.
Yeah, and there's a lot of players. I mean, we sit 3 hours to talk about it, but my biggest reaction, honestly, was
Nico. We're all this quarterback talk and nothing about Nico.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be a bias, but God, he looked good.
I mean, we already killed DJU.
Oh God, dude.
We announced the top 2 receivers in 3 years from now. They go over the overreaction.
It's really not though, because it's really not, because I watched him in the Citrus Bowl and he did really good, right? But his first 6 throws were just like, one, he's got an arm like Joe Milton, but he's accurate like Hendon Hooker. And you're going, oh my God. Oh my God. And then he wasn't just throwing to one guy. We have Peyton Thorne, Brazell from Tulane, Squirrel, and Brew McCoy. It's going to be, and all of those guys have been in Heupel's system long enough where they can just go as fast as they want because they know. And here's my biggest take this weekend: the headphones in the quarterback's ears.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge for offenses like Auburn's and Tennessee's and South Florida's.
Anyone playing Michigan?
Anybody play Michigan? That's huge. And also the 2 minute warning.
2 minute timeout.
2 minute timeout.
Yeah, it's not a warning. That's
huge. It's gonna come down to especially now that they get the iPads.
Mm-hmm.
They get the iPads now. That's big, especially when you have a team an experienced team that knows the X's and O's and can make those on-field adjustments like they do in the NFL. We're gonna see a lot of young quarterbacks grow up really fast because they can get that coverage they need to see, and when they're on the sideline, and it's gonna be cool. So I think my biggest takeaway was the new changes. Honestly, the 2 minute timeout and then the microphone in the ears of the quarterbacks. That's huge for play callers. So, but man, it was fun. It just felt good to be back.
Yeah,
it
felt
was such
good
a
to
long
have
Saturday.
Yeah,
I love blowing out my team and just falling asleep during the game and then waiting for the other games. But it was fun. Just got to get my marathon. Got to get my juices back. You know what I mean?
Because now, you're not. It's stamina. It's a long.
Yeah, I get my stamina back because we're gonna have not Pack After Dark, but we're gonna have Big 12 After Dark now.
Yeah,
and ACC After Dark.
ACC After Dark as well.
Because we're gonna have 10 o'clock games, guys, that are gonna be good.
Well, yeah, and they have to because of the TV contracts. So
correct.
Dude, that is a great, ACC After Dark. You know what that's a great transition for, Nate?
I'd love to hear it.
Week 2 previews, because guess who doesn't get an ACC After Dark this year? Cal coming to Auburn. They're going to get to play at 2 o'clock, baby. That's 11 o'clock on the West Coast time? It's a little payback from that midnight game last year, buddy.
That was bullcrap. They made y'all start so late.
It's payback, buddy. You get a 2 o'clock game in the middle of September. It's going to be 80 freaking degrees. Of course.
I thought you were going to make them start at 11.
They wanted to, but ESPN contract, dude. It's
I know. And you're doing a whiteout.
Yeah, but we do different color stuff for every
But
game.
it's
It's
fun,
kind of
though.
silly.
It's fun.
It
It's
is,
early in the
but we're not
season.
even gonna
You
wear
gotta,
white in jerseys.
you gotta be
Yeah.
wearing white because it's just too hot out.
It's the freeze.
That's why
moment.
Florida.
not-
That's why Florida did the whiteout because it's so hot. It's 115 degrees in that stadium week one.
Yeah, but Auburn's gonna wear their blue jerseys with the white pants because we only have
Oh.
white pants, so and white
gotcha.
helmets. So it's a whiteout at home is always kind of silly to me for Auburn.
That is a
'cause-
good transition. I mean,
Yeah, I told you, great transition. That's our first. That's one of our games
Speaking
to
about the
preview
game,
this week. So
definitely
13 and a half
hammering-
spread. 13 and a half
hammering
spread.
the
I'm
spread.
hammering Auburn on that. I will
All
probably
day.
hammer the over. Don't really care what it is. I probably will be hammering the over to make Scott happy.
I did.
Love the overs.
Hand up moment. I had the under in this BC Florida State game and kind of sweating it out right now. But that's okay. It'd be an ultimate, life's
You
too
had
short
that.
moment.
You didn't have that in the back porch though. Yeah, that's in the
No,
personal under.
that's a personal under. That was I also took Boston College plus 17.5 like 3 minutes before kickoff. There was a
Smart man.
boost. There's a boost on Hard Rock for plus 100. So
I love those boosts.
Put
Those
a
are
couple
good.
couple units on it.
Yeah, those are fun when
it's-
they can give you those
it's free.
boosts.
I wish I had put 100 units on it.
Yep. So Colorado was definitely not Colorado.
Nebraska.
Auburn Cal is our first one. Definitely, if you're going to put money down, that's an easy cover. We all agree on that one. So if you're listening to us, or if you're seeing a clip, we did pretty good week 1 and week 0. So, and we have an Auburn expert in the mix, and definitely it's going to get ugly real fast. So I would definitely get your money in on that one fast. Get some pizza money after that's an easy win. You can parlay it, or you can do a straight up, but you'll make some easy money off that one for sure. So let's get down to slate. We have Texas,
Slate,
Michigan.
Noon slate.
Noon slate.
Great game. Texas, Michigan. I think when I saw Michigan win the title, and I saw that their schedule was at home against Texas week 2, my soul said just alternate spread Texas minus 21.5. And if I can do that, I might go 20.5 because I'm thinking 3 touchdowns. But I love it even more. I would have loved it at 2.5. I'd love it at 20.5. I love it at 7.5 right now.
It might get out of control in the second half.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about
it's
a big house, but I don't really care about that because I think Texas has played in enough big stadiums. Like they play Texas A&M, right?
Well, I mean they played Bama last year, right?
Yeah, this Texas team is full of upperclassmen. Yeah, these guys aren't gonna. They're not going to be wavered. They're not going to be scared of going to the big house, especially after watching film.
Michigan's defense might be able to kind of control a little bit, and then if Michigan wants to control the clock, that is what. If they can just realize that is their game, is to control the clock. Kind of like the Colorado. Who did Colorado play?
North Dakota State.
They played North Dakota State, and that's all they did was control the clock.
Yeah.
And so if Michigan can just hold on to the ball and control the clock and keep the ball out of the hands of Texas, it could be close. I'm not saying it's going to be, one score close, but if Michigan can keep it within a 2-touchdown game, I think they've accomplished something to say, hey, our defense can do this and we can control the ball, and that is our identity. The problem is, are they willing to do that? And I don't know if their pride is going to let them do that.
I don't know. It's going to come down to best on best, right? And Texas's line versus Michigan's defensive line. That's the best on best, right? And I believe Texas's O-line can literally hold up to anybody in this year. They're solid. They're a bunch of dudes who are going to go pro on that line. Michigan's D-line, they're going to get tired. They're going to all, play different games with them. But at the end of the day, I feel like with Quinn Ewers, the Isaiah Bond, the other wide receiver they got, they're just there's so much talent they have in Texas, but they're going to start because what's going to happen? Michigan's going to start blitzing,
Yep.
and because they're not going to be able to get to them with 4. They're going to start blitzing and they're going to get aggressive. And Steve Sarkisian and his staff are really good. And they're going to find the holes. And Ewers is going to do a great job getting the ball to his checkdowns, probably run some screens, and eventually Isaiah Bond's going to get open deep. So I feel like it's going to be a tight first quarter, but then Michigan, in order to control the clock, you're going to have to be aggressive defensively. And I think Texas is going to exploit that. And it's at noon. It's not like it's a night game in Michigan where they've been drinking all day and whatever. It's still going to be hot. You know what I mean? So you have to worry about weather. Supposed to be actually pretty decent this weekend, weather-wise. So that's why Vegas has it as a 7-point favorite. 44.5 is the under. Scott's saying the 21.
A 44.5. Oh, did over.
Let me see it.
Might be over of the week if that's 44.
Yeah, 44.5.
Yeah, over of the week. Mark me down. Put it down on my card right now. That's put it on the
You
graphic.
hear it.
Write it down. Write it down. Sneaky good game. To move on from that disgusting 5-minute talk of the
Texas,
cheaters of Texas, Michigan, even though it's game of the week. Alabama, South Florida. South Florida going to Alabama. Hey, remember last year? Last year, Jalen Milroe forgot how to play quarterback like the week before, and they ran out. What's his name?
Sims?
The little boy.
Sims?
Yeah,
No.
Ty Sims. No, it was
Not
Ty Sims.
I was thinking
played
Blake
that
Sims, but he graduated.
Yeah, that was like
Simpson?
10 years ago.
Yeah, Simpson.
Simpson. Yeah. He played, and it was just USF had a chance to win that game last year.
They
That
did.
running
It was
back bulldozed that linebacker too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case this year.
Hey, Byron Brown, come on. Little respect. Yeah, it's probably not the case, but 7:00 ESPN, that might be fun. Alabama by 31. Yikes.
That's what they have it.
Yeah.
That's probably no. Listen, there is a sneaky good game here that might be it could be a blowout, but I think it could be closer than we think, and that's South Carolina and Kentucky. South Carolina looked awful, but
this is the SEC honks going at it for a second. Let them have their moments.
We had to have your Michigan glaze moment, Scott.
You
guys
love
Michigan.
You guys
glazed
are the ones
up Michigan.
You guys are
listen,
glazing Michigan. I have Texas by 20.5. That's 14 points more than the Vegas spread.
It could be a fun game, South Carolina, Kentucky, but really the more fun game from the SEC slate to me would be the Arkansas-Oklahoma State game, because I'm going to enjoy every minute of Oklahoma State routing Arkansas.
The Arkansas fans are gonna. I mean, they've already tried to, but they might fire Pittman. FSU is
back.
really sad, by the way.
Arky's back. Arky's back, baby. They scored 100 points.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
Arkansas is garbage.
They're so happy with Bobby Petrino.
Oh, doesn't transferred? Random thought in my mind. KJ Jefferson plays at UCF. That was also hilarious. We missed that one on our transfer segment, but that one cracked me up. I don't know how he still has eligibility.
I don't either. But
yeah,
he's going.
Shout out Cam Rising while we're talking about eligibility.
True.
Shout out.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say shout out Miami tight end 9 years.
Yeah.
9.
That dude better have a recruiting class as me.
He gray shirted, he red shirted, he medical shirted.
That dude better have a goddamn doctorate in something.
He better. But hey, realistically, second best game of the week, I think, guys. Legitimately, and it could honestly get out of hand, or it could. We're just going to learn a lot about both teams real quick, and that's Tennessee and NC State. I think we're going to learn a lot. I do think Tennessee will run away with it, but we're going to learn real fast. Is Tennessee the real deal? And I don't think NC State wins on any level, but can NC State be a competitive force in the ACC? So I think that is actually probably, I know we're joking a lot, it's probably the third best, biggest game of the
Yeah,
weekend because you got
week
the
two.
Colorado
Week two's
game.
not a bigger. It's not a big slate.
Yeah, because you got Colorado, you got the Michigan Texas game, and then probably Tennessee NC State
Yeah.
would be the third.
And there could be
best
some
game.
like sneaky good games of the like smaller tier,
Yeah, of course.
but like
That's why I
on the
mentioned
large
South
schedule.
Carolina and
Yeah.
Kentucky. I wasn't really convinced.
Yeah, Tennessee. One, they didn't give NC State a lot to look at.
No.
Everybody knows Tennessee runs that spread it out, run the power, run it. If you move the safeties or if you move anybody, they're gonna exploit that. But what I did see from watching, because I've watched the game twice now, because I wanted to see how Nico has transitioned better than Joe or Hendon, and he's been there for 2 seasons, right? So he's or 2.5, 1.5, but he's very comfortable in the speed of it, and the O line is so good, and they're very, 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 very old, and they're very strong, and Dylan Sampson and Cam Seldon, the running backs, are very, very good at hitting those holes, the little tiny holes, kind of like Jalen Wright last year. It's from what I saw, NC State, they lost that linebacker to the pros last year. They still pretty good defensively. They did not look good against Western Kentucky or Western Carolina. Not to the end of the game. Doesn't mean their coach and staff doesn't have a game plan, because they will. But Grayson McCall, another transfer that probably didn't talk about. Dude's been in the league for 5 years.
Good.
Yeah, he looked good.
He looked pretty good.
Real good. And that conception.
60%, I think. He looked really good.
After he got that interception out of his system, he buckled in, locked in. He looked good. So he's gonna give us some fits. The defensive line for Tennessee is the best I've seen since like the early 2000s, where each dude's a stud.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at like the week 2 slate, kind of see what I want to put on my pick'ems. There is not a line going up right now, and I don't think that there will. But Boston College plays Duquesne's, and
Duquesne.
I don't know what the spread would be, but I might be a sneaky Boston College fan this year. Like they might be on my plays a little bit this year.
I mean, you just don't go into Tallahassee and with a team that was supposed to not have anything. Because remember, Boston College lost their coach like quickly.
They might be in the ACC title game.
Maybe.
Boston
College, Miami.
Boston College, Miami. Like if you look at this might be a clip, because I might have just talked myself into betting Boston College to win the ACC. It might be like 35-1, but they play Duquesne's, Missouri. They'll probably lose at Missouri, but then they get Michigan State at home, Western Kentucky at home. Then they go to Virginia and Virginia Tech. If they win, if they win in Virginia Tech, who just lost to Vanderbilt, right? Then you get Louisville at home. You get Syracuse at home. Kyle McCord, trash. At SMU, and then home versus North Carolina and home versus Pitt. There's a road that Boston College just runs the table. They might go 11-1.
You heard it first on the back Porch Sports.
Wild.
They could also end up 7-5.
Yeah. Hey, you said you really loved that early 2000s Tennessee defense.
Yes.
Did you love when Ronnie Brown ran over you guys in 2004? Did you love it then? Did you love that defensive line that year still? I'm just giving you a hard time.
At the end of the game, I mean,
Ronnie Brown.
I watched him run over.
What can you do?
I watched him run over us in the championship game firsthand.
Two times.
Yeah, but that Auburn team was loaded, dude. I mean, both teams were loaded.
He created the Wildcat offense.
Yeah, I mean, it was at the end of the day when you got Cadillac and freaking what was the Cadillac? Was Cadillac and what did they call him? What did they call him?
Williams is Cadillac.
And Ronnie Brown. Didn't they have a name for him?
I think you call him the Escalade.
Yeah, Escalade or something. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it wasn't a suit. It didn't really catch because Ronnie Brown's pretty
Yeah.
cool already, not to say. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that
no,
was
I mean, I think
fun,
we do
though.
have a few good games week 2. Honestly,
I think the Tennessee game, after what I saw,
You just want
a
more.
lot of people are
the time
underplaying
with
us,
Auburn and
which
Cal. I just
I
want more points.
I want
It's
Nico to show out so bad.
yeah, he's going to get a chance. Hey, I told you
So,
that the guy on Pardon My Take straight up said
Tom
he's the best
Fernelli.
quarterback. Tom Fernelli said he's the best quarterback in the nation, and he's the guy that was in on Caleb Williams before Caleb Williams was the starter. So I mean,
Yeah, like when he
when
was at
Fernelli
Oklahoma.
says something like that, you kind of got to listen. I mean, he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
So Nico
We'll see
could
it.
be
We'll
looking. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll
I mean,
see. He's smart. He's smart. He's smooth. He plays the game slow. He's got every arm angle. He can run.
yeah,
He made a few plays early on in the game where his first and second read weren't there, so he moved out of the pocket and then just made perfect throws on the sideline.
his
to the
biggest
guys.
downfall is that he's got to play Georgia and Bama every year. So that's his biggest downside.
Biggest flaw.
I mean, that's
but
that's the same.
yeah,
Like I
it's
mean,
the same like it
that's
was every year.
Yeah, I mean that sucks
Yeah.
that you got to deal with that. But I mean, if you can put up 200 yards on those two teams, you're putting 300-400 on the rest. You're looking at a Heisman. I mean,
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
it's-
he's closing. Heupel's closing the gap in recruiting, especially getting the 5-star lineman now. That's what we weren't getting. Now we're getting 5-star linemen, and
Yeah.
that closes the gap, right? Because you can have
Mhm.
skill. You can have skill guys and use them in multiple different ways on the offense to offset talent,
yeah,
right? But when it comes to what you can't beat a freak in the trenches. You can't beat that. So, and that's why Alabama and Georgia and Michigan and all these teams have won the national championship. They've had nothing but studs on the line, and everybody knows that. So, Heupel's getting those guys now. That's a good 7:30 kickoff. I don't know about the spread on that one. I think Tennessee's a 4.5 favorite now, or I think it moved to 7.
What time's your kickoff?
7:30. So
Yeah, Tennessee 7.5 point favorite.
So it moved to 7.5. It was 7 yesterday. So a lot of money is moving around. Over under 60.5. So
could be a lot of points in that game.
Could be a lot of points, or it could be a blowout. And one team just scores them all the points. We'll see. It's week 2, right? A lot of teams
7 to 7 wins.
Yeah, exactly. Next, later that night, we had said that Colorado, Nebraska. That's at 7:30. That'll be a fun game. Nebraska's set to be a 7.5 point favorite. I think Nebraska wins this game. I think they win it soundly. I think 1, it's a revenge game, but 2, it's a proving ground game for Mark Rule, because if Nebraska wins this game, if you look at their schedule, they could potentially go undefeated until they play Ohio State.
Yeah, Nebraska's good. I think Rule's got something going there, and
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is when you get a guy like Raiola, who is the top quarterback recruit, and you flip him from Georgia, like that's a big boost to the culture change. So when you get people to revolve around your quarterback and hey, we got our guy, that's so big. And this game at home, I'm sure Will Compton's going to be up on the scoreboard.
Leading
the team out.
He's just going to
be awesome. Yeah. And to beat Prime and Colorado, which obviously a lot of people do because Colorado sucks and they're all about clicks, as Dan Lanning says. It's gonna be awesome. There's no hate on a 239 guy in Dion, but I just I don't like the way that I don't like the way that the media is just bowing down to him. I think it's kind of annoying. He's just building his team through the transfer portal, and it pisses me off a little bit. So
yeah, they'll be much improved week 2, Colorado, but
I hope so.
They still don't have an O line. They have no depth on the D line, and they have depth on the O line. They have a bunch of good starters, but they don't have the depth to go against. Because this Nebraska team, Rule didn't have to do much because they were already doing a good job laying the foundation of depth. He came in and solidified that and recruited well.
Mhm.
And he's still recruiting well. And so this is a huge game for them. I know they probably have a bunch of recruits coming to this game. So it's a huge Nebraska coming out party. So it's like, hey, year 2, let's do this thing. Raiola, my guy, let's show the world how good you are. I'm excited for the game. It's gonna be a fun game. I'll have to have my TV, the 65-inch split screen, mine and that one going on. And then, if you look later at 10 o'clock or whatever, a sneaky good game, Boise State, Oregon. If Oregon
I thought you were going towards the USC game that's also on at 11 o'clock.
The USC.
Those are great games for me to watch with my eyes closed.
Yeah. Mississippi State does play Arizona State at 10:30. That actually might be a really fun game.
It's brutal.
Coach Levy with his
freaking. They're not on the film, so I'm not interested. Man, the sad FSU fans leaving the stadium right now is just absolutely hilarious.
I cannot wait to make my meme.
Where is do you think that there's any FSU fans that have tweeted out fire Norvell tonight? I haven't seen any.
They'd be dumb enough. They'd be stupid.
Let's find
out. Mike Norvell kind of sucks. Yeah, check the Twitter feed. I haven't been on since we started recording, but I would be very interested to see. Wow, this kid from Boston College is just awesome.
Costanza and whatever. He's a freaking he's a good college quarterback.
No, Castellanos. Yeah, you gotta love the Castellanos.
Castellanos, yeah, he's a good college quarterback. All right, you're gonna be able to run some plays with him, right?
He's got the you see the eye black on him. He looked like a tiger.
I love the tiger. Yeah,
I would have put $100.
Fire Norvell.
Oh my god! It's already.
It's everywhere. I love it.
It's not trending, but it's there.
There are some.
Oh my god, man!
I'm not shocked, but it's looking like it. Unless, it would be real nice if FSU stopped them on this drive. But the under's looking very good unless we get a very unfortunate break here and 2 more touchdowns get scored in 4 minutes.
Yeah,
but 28 plus 13 is 41.
Listen,
is that right?
There's a guy on Twitter, guys. This is super distraction. Said that he would literally eat dog poop if Boston College beat Florida State, and literally deleted his Twitter at halftime.
Wow. Yeah. That happened once in Cleveland. A radio host said that he would eat horse poop if the Browns drafted Baker Mayfield. And,
oh god.
He had to do it live in studio. I saw a video of it. It was the most disgusting thing ever.
At least his man of his word.
He did it. No, he wouldn't. He's got too much pride to not
man
do that.
Word, at least the man of his word.
Incredible.
Yep. Yeah. We're at the end of looking at it. Boise State, Oregon might be pretty good. It's on Peacock, and Oregon is a 19.5 favorite, but Boise can score. And if Oregon plays the way they did Idaho, Boise's not afraid to go into Oregon. We've seen it before. I've seen Boise beat Oregon. Remember the Garrett Blunt bunch? That's where it started. That's where it started.
Yeah. I was actually somehow awake for that game, and I was like, "Oh!"
Right.
But
I was like,
he just punched the shit out of him.
Punched the kid
well,
right.
If you read the guy's lips, it was a good reason for him to get clocked.
He said something pretty mean.
Choice words that deserve.
And he learned real fast. Garrett Blunt about that.
Go back, read that guy's lips. You're gonna be like, yeah, he deserved that.
Yeah,
he really did. Garrett Blunt's an upstanding citizen by any means.
I would never misspeak to LeGarrette Blunt. That's for sure.
No,
he definitely said some choice words. Then you got, like I said, the sneaky good late night game is going to be Mississippi State, Arizona State. High scoring, no defense whatsoever.
56.5.
It might be higher than that. Actually, I got 50.
No, I know. I'm looking at 56.5.
56. Yeah, it might be in the 60s, 70s because they can't stop defensively. Both teams stuck, but they got a lot of power offensively. So.
What was your best bet of last weekend? Humble brag opportunities here.
Yeah.
if you want to.
Yeah, so
my lock of the week, I believe, right, Nate? Was my lock of the week Miami minus 2.5?
Miami minus 2.5 was your best bet.
Easy. That was
Yep.
easy.
My best bet was Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's what, 31, 32 or whatever. They covered that easily, and they covered that in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Auburn
that was
did
my
the
best
same.
bet. We did well. If you're listening to us, our porch plays, our best bets of the week. We did pretty well going into week 1. Normally, week 2, week 3, you get better. We did have some that did not hit.
Yeah, West Virginia sucks. Fuck them.
The West Virginia, it's the weather. It was the weather that killed me. I thought they were gonna keep it close, but I've been those weather delays. Those weather delays suck. You lose all your momentum.
Yeah, well, they looked terrible before the weather.
Yeah, that's true.
So fuck them.
So,
but humble brag opportunity. Yeah, do you have
Texas A&M? I took A&M and they just choked. Honestly.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad on Prize Picks. Won $25 on some parlays. So
I had that
was a pretty good one.
I had a little 3-legger. It was like plus 400. I had Penn State to win. I just made this up like I was sitting in the pool, like ready to watch the games, barbecuing. I was like, you know what? Let's get together a little 3-legger. Went Penn State to win, Georgia minus 11.5, under 46.5, and Michigan Fresno State. Plus 400. Those are good odds. Doesn't matter.
You had that as an under, didn't you?
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I
you
think
hit
that
on
was,
that one.
I think that was on the board. Should have been easy money, but there was like a pick six late in that game.
Okay,
it's getting a little dicey here. Not looking great.
Yeah.
So this should have been easy.
It was. I mean, we're winning money here on the back Porch Sports. We're by no means experts in this. If you have a gambling problem, please call the 1-800-GAMBLING thing.
Yes, please.
But we only play like $10 to $20 at a time. For me, I do. Scott's the most degenerate one, and he's not doing that much.
No, we're keeping units small right now. We're trying to build up the kitty.
We're building it up.
Like tonight, there's no unit shaming on this program at all. Today, for this Boston College Florida State game, I put $2.96 on the under. So
there you go. So we're just like you guys. I mean, we want you to win with us and continue to follow us and get our tips and tricks and have fun with us. We're coming up to the 60-minute mark. Looking forward for a great week 2 of college football. Not a lot of action. That week 3 is really where it begins. But also we got NFL coming. Week 1 NFL. Excited for that one. Can't wait for that one.
Flight leaves Friday.
Scott will be in Cleveland for that one. I'll be at my house watching Red Zone.
I'll be at my house watching Red Zone.
No. Could be a disaster for the under.
Good no.
Great tackle at the 2-minute
literally watching the Trail of Tears right now in time.
The only people that are left at that stadium are Boston College fans.
Yeah, right, real fans too.
It's absolutely incredible. Hey, let's get a quick plug-in for the college pick'em leaderboard.
Yes.
8-2 is the leader. Link is in Instagram bio. We'll post it with the plays. Get in. Got decent amount of entries in right now, but 10 picks per week on ESPN. Real fun. 10 of the best games that ESPN picks. It's only 10 every week. If you're in a bigger pool like me and Jake are, you got to pick like 30 games a week. But ESPN is ESPN College Pick'em, and link is in our Instagram bio. Make sure you're following on Instagram.
Absolutely. All right, boys. Always a pleasure. I'm glad we got back. Season 3. Here we go with the Back Porch. Not Overs Club Sports now.
Yes.
follow us on Instagram. We get Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. I don't really do TikTok. Jake does that, so I don't.
Yeah, it's almost dead now. We'll get it. We'll get the TikTok machine rolling. When Nate starts sending me clips, we'll get it rolling again.
We'll get the clips going.
Yeah, we'll get it going. And but always a pleasure. Submit questions. Tell us you like us. Tell us you hate us. Whatever. Just interact with us. We love to hear from you.
Yes. Enjoy your first full weekend slate.
Full weekend.
Saturday and Sunday.
NFL's on for Thursday
Thursday
and Friday.
Saturday college, Sunday,
Monday.
We've never
remember, we're going to leave you with this one thought. You can't enjoy the back porch if you don't hydrate. So hydrate.
Yes, please hydrate. Take naps. And that being said, we out.